Welcome to the ACE Project, brought to you by the Literacy.io team at Texas A&M University. I'm your host, Ashley Stack, also known as Captain Comprehension. We are so excited you'll be joining us on this reading journey and hope you and your child enjoy this time together. So get comfy, rev up your brains, and get ready to think, because we are ready to help you become a comprehension detective.
Hi, Super Readers! My name is Captain Comprehension, and I am here to guide you as you become a comprehension detective. Welcome back to week 6 of our podcast. This week, we're reading the book The Wall by Eve Bunting. November 11th is Veterans Day. It is a day that we honor the men and women of the armed forces of the United States. In today's story, we'll read about what happens when a boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Before we begin, let's go over some important vocabulary. The first word is armed forces. Armed forces means the military forces of a nation, such as the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. A synonym, or words that mean the same for this, would be military or troops, and an antonym, or words meaning the opposite, would be civilian or citizen. Our second word is memorial. A memorial is a statue or structure established to remind people of a person or event. Some synonyms, or word that means the same, would be monument or statue, and there aren't really any antonyms for this word. Our last word is Veterans Day. Veterans Day is the United States national holiday in honor of veterans past and present. It's always observed on November 11th. A synonym, or a word that means the same, might be Armistice Day or Remembrance Day. And once again, there aren't really any antonyms or opposites for this. Alright, it's that time. Stop your video and text POD06 to 866 903 2545 to kick off your podcast and answer the first questions. A synonym for the phrase armed forces might be A. Civilian, B. Citizen, C. Military, D. Non-combatant. Based on the clues from the passage, the word monument means A. Masterpiece, B. Tribute, C. Tomb, D. Pillar. Before we begin the story, there's one last piece I'd like to read to you. This is a short snippet from the author herself. This is going to give you a little bit of information about the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial honors the men and women of the armed forces of the United States who served in the Vietnam War. On it are listed the names of those who gave their lives and those missing in action. The memorial is located in Washington, D.C. On the long black wall are more than 58,000 names. It's time for us to read the story. The Wall by Eve Bunting. This is the wall, my grandfather's wall. On it are the names of those killed in a war long ago. Where is Grandpa's name? I ask. We have to find it, Dad says. He and I have come a long way for this, and we walk slowly, searching. The wall is black and shiny as a mirror. In it, I can see Dad and me. I can see the bare trees behind us and the dark flying clouds. A man in a wheelchair stares at the names. He doesn't have legs. I'm looking and he sees me looking and smiles. Hi, son. Hi. His hat is a soft, squashed green and there are medals on it. His pant legs are folded back and his shirt is a soldier's shirt. A woman as old as my grandma is hugging a man as old as my grandpa would be. They're both crying. Shh, he whispers. Shh. Flowers and other things have been laid against the wall. There are little flags, an old teddy bear, and letters, weighted with stones so they won't blow away. Someone has left a rose with a droopy head. Have you found Grandpa yet? I ask. No, Dad says. There are so many names. They are listed under the years when they were killed. I found 1967. That's when my grandpa died. Dad runs his fingers along the rows of print, and I do too. The letters march side by side, like rows of soldiers. They're nice and even. It's better printing than I can do. The wall is warm. Dad is searching and searching. Albert A. Jensen, Charles Bronowski, George Munoz, he mutters. His fingers stop moving. Here he is. My grandpa, I ask. Dad nods. Your grandpa. His voice blurs. My dad. He was just my age when he was killed. Dad's rubbing the name, rubbing and rubbing as if he wants to wipe it away. Maybe he just wants to remember the way it feels. He lifts me so I can touch it too. We've brought paper. Dad puts it over the letters and rubs on it with a pencil so the paper goes dark and the letters show up white. You've got parts of other guys' names on there, too, I tell him. Dad looks at the paper. Your grandpa won't mind. They were probably friends of his anyway, I say. Dad nods. Maybe so. A man and a boy walk past. Can we go to the river now, Grandpa? The boy asks. Yes. The man takes the boy's hand. But button your jacket. It's cold. My dad stands very still with his head bent. A bunch of big girls in school uniforms come down the path. Their teacher is with them. They are all carrying more of those little flags. Is this wall for the dead soldiers, Miss Gerber? One of them asks in a loud voice. The names are the names of the dead, but the wall is for all of us, the teacher says. They make a lot of noise and ask a lot of questions, and all the time Dad just stands there with his head bowed. I stand beside him. The girls stick their flags in the dirt in front of the wall and leave. Then it's quiet again. Dad folds the paper that has Grandpa's name on it and puts it in his wallet. He slides out a picture of me, one of the yucky ones they took in school. Mom made me wear a tie. Dad puts the picture on the grass below Grandpa's name. It blows away. I get it and put it back and pile some little stones on top. My face smiles up at me from under the stones. Grandpa won't know who I am, I tell Dad. I think he will, Dad says. I move closer to him. It's sad here. He puts his hand on my shoulder. I know, but it's a place of honor. I'm proud that your grandfather's name is on this wall. I am too. I am. But I'd rather have my grandpa here, taking me to the river, telling me to button my jacket because it's cold. I'd rather have him here. I hope you enjoyed that story. So now we need to think about the text structure of the wall. Here are some of the clues I heard. They were hugging and crying. They were at a place of honor. Someone left a rose. They muttered. The boy said it's sad here. They bowed their heads, and they're proud. The girls stuck flags in the dirt. So the first question is, was there a problem? And if it was it solved? Were two or more things compared to each other? Pause your video and text in your answer about the text structure. When you're ready, press play. Welcome back, detectives. The text structure for this story is cause and effect. Something happened, and then something else happened as a result. But unfortunately, even though we might feel there was a problem, nothing was ever solved. So now the question is, what is the main idea for the whole section? Use the sentence stems. The cause is, the effect is. Pause your video and text your main idea sentences into the survey. Let's compare what you wrote to what I wrote. How did you do? I said, the cause is a boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. The effect is they find his grandfather's name on the wall. Great work! Let's continue by answering a multiple choice main idea question, kind of like that you might see on the star. What is the best main idea for the selection? A. The boy notices a man in a wheelchair, little flags in the dirt near the wall, letters, and a teddy bear. B. A boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial looking for the boy's grandfather's name. They eventually find his grandfather's name on the wall. C. A boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. The boy's grandfather served in the military during the Vietnam War. D. The boy's father bows his head to honor the names on the wall. Think about which of these answer choices contained the cause and the effect. When you're ready, pause your video and go back to the texting survey to answer the question. Welcome back, detectives. You're doing excellent work this week. Let's extend our main idea and write a summary. First, let's think back to the main idea. In order to extend it to a summary, we want to include details that support each part of our main idea. So we said, the cause is a boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. Think of a detail or two that you might be able to add that supports that cause. The effect is they find his grandfather's name on the wall. Then think of a detail that might go with that. When you're ready, come back and we'll look at what I wrote. Here's the summary I put together. The orange is our main idea, and the blue is the part that I added. The cause is a boy and his dad go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. The boy notices many names carved into the tall, shiny wall, a man in a wheelchair, people hugging and crying, flowers leaning against the wall, little flags stuck in the dirt near the wall, and letters left by visitors. The effect is they find his grandfather's name, George Munoz, on the wall. The boy's father takes a paper and pencil, rubs over the name, and puts the special paper in his pocket so that he can keep it. All right, detectives, it's time for our multiple choice summary question. Now, remember, we're looking for the summary that contains the cause, the effect, and just a few details in order to extend it into a summary. Here we go. What is the best summary of the selection? A. A boy and his father go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. The boy's grandfather served in the military during the Vietnam War. B. A boy and his father go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to search for his grandfather's name. The boy sees many names carved into the wall, speaks to a man in a wheelchair, watches people hugging and crying, and so much more. Eventually, they find his grandfather's name, George Munoz, on the wall. The boy's father takes a paper and pencil, rubs over the name, and puts the special paper in his pocket so that he can keep it. C. A boy and his grandfather go to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to find his grandfather's name. The boy notices many names carved into the wall, a man in a wheelchair, people hugging and crying, flowers leaning against the wall, little flags stuck in the dirt near the wall, and letters left by visitors. The boy thinks that the names look like they are marching in a row. He also sees a class visiting the wall while on a field trip. They are placing flags by the names on the wall. Pause your video and go back into the texting survey to answer the next question. Welcome back! It's time for us to infer. Remember, when we infer, we take what we read from the text, mix it together with what we already know, and we make an inference or, a guess of sorts that is based on text evidence. What can you infer about the man in the wheelchair? Based on information in the selection, what can you conclude about why the boy's dad wanted to take him to visit the wall? Pause and think about these questions. Discuss them with someone if you have someone close by. When you're ready, continue and we'll answer our multiple choice questions. What can you infer about the man in the wheelchair? A. He was there to find George Munoz's name. B. He knew the boy and his father. C. He wanted to put flags in front of the wall. D. He was likely a veteran. Pause your video and text in your answer. Based on information in the selection, what can you conclude about why the boy's dad wanted to take him to visit the wall? A. He wanted his son to be proud of his grandfather. B. He wanted his son to meet his grandfather. C. He wanted his son to read about his grandfather's friends. D. He thought his son would enjoy seeing Washington, D.C. Pause and text in your last answer. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Comprehension Detectives. I hope you learned something new from reading The Wall. I cannot wait to join you again next week. Remember, we can all be super readers. This is Captain Comprehension, signing off.
Thanks for joining us this week. We hope you will return next week as we explore Clark the Shark.